Good evening, CPEs and CPNs. Dr. Krista here, and it's such a pleasure to be connecting with you on this alumni-only webinar. Now, I know you guys are all logging in right now, so please give me a shout out. Let me know who you are, who's watching, who's joining us here live. And then, of course, type CPE or CPN next to your name, if, depending upon which course you've taken, which certification you've joined us for. So again, we're logging on alumni only, so all of you guys are part of our community already. You guys are awesome. You guys are the best. And so as you're logging in, just let me know who you are, where you're from, and of course, if you're a CPE or a CPN or both, because I know a lot of you have done both certifications, which is very, very cool. And tonight we're going to be talking about postural ergonomics. So I have a very exciting opportunity for all of you. And I'm just going to ask that you guys stick with me till the end of the webinar so that we can make sure that you guys are able to take advantage of it. So again, let me know if, who's joining us. We have a bunch of you guys registered for the webinar, which is really great. We always appreciate that. We know you guys show up. You show up ready to thrive, ready to jump in there and make an impact. So just let me know. Why don't you guys also type Y in the comment box? Let me know for sure that you can hear me. Make sure that we're all set with our settings here. Volume's on. We are good to go. We're going to have a great webinar tonight. So just let me know that everything is going good in your guys' world. All right. So as you're logging on, just let me know if you're a CPE or a CPN, and of course, where you're from. All right, let's see. Okay, Tim says, looks like live streaming is off. All right, Tim, can you just type Y if you can hear me and see me now? For some reason, it was saying that we were having an issue. On now. Now it says presenter lost connection. Okay, we're good to go. All right, guys, thanks so much. All good here, says Mike. Tim's good. Okay, wonderful. You guys know that technology's fun, but sometimes we have some issues. Anyway, nonetheless, we're gonna have an awesome webinar tonight. So if you guys could just let me know where you're from, and if you're a CPE or a CPN, or if you're both, because this is an alumni-only webinar, so I know that it's just you guys joining the webinar tonight. So let me know who you are, where you're from, CPE or CPN, and then we're going to dive into some really fun information. We're going to be discussing postural ergonomics tonight, and I have something very special for all of you guys, so be sure to stick with me until the end as well. All right, let's go ahead and dive right into the information. We've got Sarah, CPE and CPN from Scotland. We've got Hanania Cohen, CPE, CPN, sorry. Tim, CPE or CPN. Okay, so those are the certifications. Certified Posture Expert, Certified Postural Neurology. Dr. Barry, practicing in Malaysia, both CPE and CPN. Tim in Alameda, California, in the Bay Area. And we have a bunch of you guys on the webinar tonight. Bruce from California, CPN and almost a CPE, meaning you're getting through the material. Very nice. Very cool. All right, well, let's go ahead and jump into the material. Everybody else, as you're logging in, I'm happy to have you. Anne-Marie. Hi, Anne-Marie from Australia. Tim, going through the program now, not completed yet. All right, so you guys should be able to see a webinar here. Oh, it looks like Matt, CPE and CPN from Sacramento. We got Jason from South Carolina, CPE and CPN. Awesome. It's so cool to have you guys on the webinar. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. I promise it's going to be worth your while. So if you guys could just type Y in the box and let me know that you can see my see the PowerPoint, and then we'll jump into the material. Let's just make sure that it's all shared okay. You guys can see that. Okay. So let me begin the webinar by saying a sincere thank you to all of you. This webinar is only for alumni. This is for our valued posture experts and postural neurologists. Now, the reason I wanted to do an alumni-only webinar is because I want to say thank you. I want to give a very sincere and special thank you. And I want to speak directly to you guys. And I want to know that you know that we truly honor your commitment to being the best practitioners in the world. I also want to reward your extraordinary behavior. So I'll explain at the end of the webinar how you can get a special alumni-only enrollment deal for postural ergonomics. We genuinely care about you and your success in practice, which is why we've created a new certification that will perfectly complement both the posture expert as well as the postural neurology programs. This certification will take your patients out, it'll take care of your patients outside of your office, in their office. So let's face it, our patients spend 40 hours per week in their offices and only an hour or so per week in our offices. This certification was designed to fulfill the need of taking care of your patients the moment that they leave your office. Plus, it will answer the common question that we hear you guys ask us all the time in the Facebook forums and email. Do you have any ergonomic suggestion for my patients? You also ask me if we have handouts and exercise forms to give the patients. So don't worry, all of this information is included in the certification. I just wanted to address it there because I know you guys always ask me. So let me explain why Postural Ergonomics was created for you. Then I'll explain how you can get a first access alumni-only discount. This is only available to the students in our community that join this webinar tonight. Now, this information will go out to everybody tomorrow, but we wanted you to get a sneak peek, exclusive first look right here, right now. Now, the strong why for creating the Postural Ergonomics certification is this: to eradicate sitting disease. Prolonged sitting in sedentary posture is causing postural decline, cognitive dysfunction, chronic diseases, and even early death. Together, we can take an active stand against sitting disease and be the change that the world so desperately needs. Because patients like John are in desperate need. John's a father of 3. He's a computer programmer who loves his family and works hard to support them. He comes into your office and says he has neck pain and back pain. You guys know, the typical presentation that you see over and over day after day in practice. Each time you watch John leave your office, you know deep down that you've given him a temporary fix for the ultimate problem. John has sitting disease. He sits for 40 hours per week and then goes home exhausted and sits with his family in front of the TV. Then John goes to bed and repeats the same sedentary activities tomorrow, the next day, and then the next. You help him every time he comes in, but deep down you know that he's going to be a statistic. He's already amongst the 60% of Americans that are obese and overweight, the 90% of the population worldwide that has postural distortion patterns, and is on the road to joining the 48% of men who will die early due to sitting disease. John is sacrificing himself for his job, and deep down, when you look John in the eye, you know that his neck and back pain are small complaints in comparison to what will come. Sitting disease is a public health nightmare, and it's worse now than it ever has been before. Did you know that women who are seated for more than 7 hours per day are 47% more likely to suffer from symptoms of depression? The worst consequence of all associated with prolonged sitting and poor posture is early mortality. Researchers followed thousands of men and women over the course of 13 years, and they discovered that women who were sedentary, sitting more than 6 hours per day, were 94% more likely to die during that time period. 94% more likely to suffer an early death than women who are physically active and sat for less than 3 hours per day. Men who sat for 6 hours per day were 48% more likely to die than the men who were standing more often. 48%. That is freaking crazy. Honestly, it's shocking. I'm seriously frightened by these statistics. And the sad part is that all of the ergonomic certifications that are out there right now are so boring. Trust me, you guys, I've done them. I knew postural ergonomics needed to be the best in the world if we actually stood a chance in eradicating sitting disease. The old ergonomic training model is failing you in 3 very specific ways. First, it is equipment-focused, not people-focused, meaning that the emphasis of the information is on ergonomic setups, not how to maximize human functional potential within the ergonomic setup. The second flaw with the outdated model of ergonomics is that it isn't evolving fast enough. In this digital age, demands are changing yearly, if not monthly. Creating new equipment can take up to 10 years. We simply can't wait that long to make a change. And the third reason that old ergonomic education is failing you is because it doesn't make you an expert or provide you with the certainty and the tools that you need to get in with corporations or local businesses to make a difference. You are left feeling stuck in a deep rut. After seeing this failing system, it was just too obvious that there was a need for an accessible, high-quality program in ergonomics. And that is how postural ergonomics was born. Postural ergonomics is people first, furniture second, to help you get better results with your current patients. You can increase your income without becoming a full-time ergonomist. We'll teach you how to make a side income doing virtual ergonomic assessments. Don't worry, I don't want to be full-time in ergonomics either. Plus, postural ergonomics will give you the tools that you need to get into local businesses and corporations for on-site evaluations and ongoing collaborations. You will have the tools to position yourself as a renowned ergonomic expert in your community. Now, I want to make this webinar very practical for you, so you can walk away with implementable analyses, corrections, and implementation solutions of how to exponentially grow your income. Before we jump into the analyses and corrections, let me introduce you to the 4 key components of postural ergonomics. The 4 components of postural ergonomics include functional, postural, brain-based, and environmental. With traditional ergonomic education, you just learn the environmental aspect. We would never leave that out because it is definitely important. But notice the order. We are looking at the functional capacity, the postural design, and the cognitive output of the human being within their environment first, before making any assumptions of what ergonomic furniture that they need. Then we evaluate their workspace and recommend ergonomic equipment to support optimal human function. All right, let me just switch this here. So we're going to go through each of the corrections that you guys can do. There we go. All right, so when we talk about these different components, so I mentioned that there's 4 components of postural ergonomics. So the majority of ergonomic education is just focused on that environmental component. Now, the environment is going to be how you set up your desk, how the chair that you're sitting in, these types of things. Super important, don't get me wrong, but what we're focused on at the American Posture Institute is optimizing the functional output, the neurocognitive output, and the postural design of the person within any workspace, so that we can build that postural fitness so that when we put them in a different workspace, they can still have that good upright postural design. So we're people first and furniture second. We don't forget about the furniture, but we're people first. So when we talk about the functional aspect, the functional component, I want you to think about being able to perform human functional movements within your workspace without being at risk for injury. And then when you think of postural, I want you to think about being able to maintain upright postural design without going into that postural collapse or that flexor dominant position within the workspace. And then when you think about brain-based, I want you to think about that neurocognitive output. Now, you guys know how I feel about neuroergonomics, brain-based ergonomics. I get really excited about it. And the reason I get so excited about it is because we are literally the only people doing this. There's a lot of research out there on neuroergonomics, but it's not been applicable yet. There's absolutely no trainings that you can do to make this stuff applicable. So I went through and I dove into the research and made this stuff really implementable so that you can help your patients improve neurocognitive output. And then, of course, the last component is that environmental aspect. So let's go through some analyses and some corrections that you guys can implement right away with your patients. Now, this stuff isn't going to cost you any money, and you can literally implement it tomorrow in practice. So the first thing with the first component is going to be functional. So we'll go through functional, postural, and brain-based. So with functional, what you can do is I want you to evaluate range of motion for your clients within their workspace. Now, what does that mean? That means for range of motion, I'm evaluating for 2 things. I'm evaluating the movement of my joints. So do I have active range of motion that is adequate, because meaning my joint space can move? Also, I'm wondering and I'm evaluating for the ability to make a full range of motion without injuring myself. So for example, if I were to check shoulder range of motion, abduction and adduction, I'm checking to see if I can make that movement, but I'm also checking to see in my workspace, if I tried to make that movement, am I going to be hitting something? Am I hindered by my workspace in order to perform proper functional movements? Now, in addition to that, for functional analyses, I want you guys to check their seating options, because what we see all the time is that chairs that are not multiplanar, they're uniplanar, or they're not movable at all. So a typical chair that doesn't move even going up and down or front and back, it's going to be very unfunctional. It's going to create poor functional output of your patients in their workspace. So you want to check the chairs that they're sitting in. What we want multiplanar active sitting options. So evaluate that just by doing an assessment of their workspace, okay? So those are going to be your analyses for functional movements. Now, what I want you to do for the corrections for the functional component of postural ergonomics is this. So I want you to start educating your patients about how they can increase mobility within their workspace. So when we talk about mobility, I want you to focus on the main groups. So starting from the head down or from the feet up, let's start from the feet up in this case. I want you to teach your patients how to do ABCs and figure eights with their ankles, with their knees, with their hips, and then we'll talk about what to do with the torso, and then with the arms as well, the upper extremities. So with the wrists, with the elbows, and with the shoulders. And then we'll talk about the torso here in just a second. So as I'm performing a figure eight or as I'm performing an ABC, you can see that I'm moving when I do the ABCs. I'm moving across multiple planes, and it's very dynamic. It's changing. So I'm not just doing something repetitively. I'm changing what I'm doing, A, B, C, D, E. And I know you guys have made that recommendation before, but the reason I want to really highlight that with functional is that you're moving the joint spaces to increase range of motion, to increase mobility and proprioception. So as I'm working on the right side here, I'm stimulating my sensory cortex on the contralateral side. And you guys know it, I've said it before, the brain craves complexity. So if I'm just doing circles, I'm not going to, yes, I'm moving my joint space, but I'm not going to make the same profound effects in the brain and the sensory cortex in terms of proprioception. So I want you guys to think about how you can ignite the brain for proprioception while in the workspace. Now, the cool thing about doing these ABCs and figure eights, the patient doesn't even have to get up from their chair. It's better if they can, because we want them to be more active, but even if they can't, they can do these types of movements right there in their seat. So there's no excuse not to get them done. And then the next thing that I want you to do is, we told you to check to see if they have multi-ranges of motion within their chair that they're sitting on. So for multiplanar, unless their chair moves in multiplanes of motion, of course, you guys know I'm going to recommend the posture cushion or sitting on an exercise ball. So now let's talk about how this matters in terms of active sitting, and then of course how you can move around on the active sitting option to stimulate more range of motion of the torso and the lumbopelvic area. So as I'm seated on that posture cushion, if I have postural distortion patterns, I can actually work on reversing those. Plus, I can do glides, I can go forward and back, and I can work that range of motion of my thoracic spine. Because if we're not proactive about that, what's going to happen? We know our patients are going to go with gravity straight into this position. So by increasing range of motion within my thoracic spine, I can do these thoracic glides, which are going to be very, very beneficial. Now, in addition to that, with the cervical spine, you can have them do ranges of motion with the cervical spine, rotation, lateral flexion, you guys know the drill. In addition to that, for the lumbopelvic area, while I'm seated on the active sitting option, then I want to be going in multiplanar directions. So forward and back, side to side, diagonal, as well as rotations. So they should be doing all of these. They can even be moving the lumbopelvic while doing, for example, figure eights of the arm. So they can combine these movements. It's going to be very functional, and it's a nice strong stimulus to the contralateral sensory cortex. You guys know we love it. The brain craves complexity. So again, functional, check range of motion. You're checking to see if they're hindered because their joint space is hindered, or if their environment is hindering them from doing that. Also check for range of motion of their chair. And then next is postural. So the postural component of postural ergonomics is evaluating their posture within their workspace with occupational posture imaging. So with occupational posture imaging, what you're going to do is, you guys know how to do the WADE technique for posture analysis. Now we're going to implement that from a seated position. So every time you do an occupational analysis, first you just get them in their workspace, take an occupational posture image without doing the WADE technique, just to see what they look like in their normal seated habit behavior, so active sitting. And then what we're going to do is we're going to prompt them how to sit in perfect posture within their chair. So we're going to prompt them to, maybe their legs were crossed. We're going to prompt them to not cross their legs, sit up straight. You guys know what we're talking about. And then what we do is we get them in perfect posture, ideal posture, and then we do the WADE technique from there. So that's our standard. So we just saw what their standard is with their active posture. Then we said, okay, let's put you in perfect posture. Now that you're in perfect posture, let's see if you can maintain it when we do the WADE technique. So what you're going to do is you're going to put them in perfect posture, and then you're going to have them close their eyes. You guys know the drill. Close your eyes, breathe in, breathe out, and as you breathe out, collapse your shoulders, relax completely. As they breathe out, that's when the analysis takes place, both with the occupational posture image as well as visually. So as they breathe out, you're watching to see, can they maintain that ideal posture or not? Do they go into a flexor dominant positioning? So as they breathe out, that's when you're going to be evaluating for postural distortion patterns. Now, just as we would if they were standing, we're going to check each posture quadrant and evaluate for the presence of postural distortion patterns. So for example, if you see a forward head posture, so you see a forward head posture while the patient's seated when we do WADE technique, then what you want to do is you want to reverse that. So while they're seated there, or they can do it against the wall within their workspace, whatever it allows, then we want them to do neck retractions. So with the neck retraction, then obviously they're going to, without looking up, because we know that that's the most common mistake that happens with our patients, we're going to have them focus on bringing their chin back and holding, okay? Retract and hold, retract and hold. Now, they don't need to do this a ton of times, but what I want them to do is do it multiple times throughout the day. And when they retract, I want them to have that nice strong hold of the thoracic spine. Now, in addition to that, they can utilize a TheraBand, and they can just put this in their desk. So literally, this comes in posture kits already. It costs next to nothing. And what they're going to do to add resistance is they're going to retract back and hold. Okay, retract and hold, relax. Retract back and hold, retract back and hold. And they're going to perform this a few times, let's say 5 to 10 times, holding for 10 seconds. Okay, so that's going to be posture quadrant 1. Now for posture quadrant 2, if we see that postural hyperkyphosis flexor dominance, which we are assuming we're going to see with a lot of people, then what we want to do is we want to reverse that. So reversing with posture breaks, so 30 seconds every hour doing a posture break, we're going anti-gravity to stimulate inhibition of flexion with the PMRF and also stimulate extension with the vestibular system. So we'll hold for 30 seconds. Now, I'm going to give you guys another tip when we talk about brain-based regarding reversing that flexor dominance. Okay, so I'll leave you there right now just with the posture break for posture quadrant 2. And then with posture quadrant 3, if it's an anterior pelvic tilt or a posterior pelvic tilt, what I want you guys to think about is while they're sitting on their exercise cushion, then if they're in an anterior pelvic tilt, I want you to get them into a nice neutral pelvis and then go into a posterior pelvic tilt. So whatever way they're tilted, I want you to reverse that by doing active movement into the opposite direction. So think reverse posture exercise. If I'm in an anterior pelvic tilt, meaning I tilt forward, then I'm going to get myself in a nice neutral position, and I'm going to go into a posterior pelvic tilt. Posterior pelvic tilt, back to neutral. Posterior pelvic tilt, back to neutral. Posterior pelvic tilt, back to neutral. And again, hold. Hold that contraction always. It's a stronger stimulus via the sensory and motor cortex. So we love that. And then for posture quadrant 4, if we see a pronation, for example, what I want you guys to do is you can utilize a rubber band or a TheraBand. Both are good. And what you're going to do is just tie that around the desk. So they're going to tie it around their desk here. Okay. So it'll be like this. And if we have a toe out foot flare, I want you to think about reversing that. So we would do exercises that create a toe in foot flare, okay, against resistance. So if I'm here and I want to go in, then I'm going to do resistance to bring my toe in. And I can tie this around my desk, makes it very, very simple. If they can't tie it around their desk, no problem, get a rubber band, and they can put it around both feet and perform the reverse posture exercise in that way, okay? So again, for postural, what we want to evaluate is we want to evaluate their active posture, which is their normal posture within their workspace. Then we want to put them in ideal posture, have them do weight technique for posture analysis, make sure they can maintain it, and if not, we're checking each posture quadrant for postural distortion patterns, and we're going to give them exercises to reverse them that they can do within their workspace without even getting up from their office chair if they can't do that within their workspace. It's always good that they get up and move, but if they can't, we recognize limitations. We work with those to give good solutions. And then the last thing that we're going to talk about today is going to be brain-based from the postural components. So brain-based then is how to stimulate good neurocognitive function. So the analyses that I want you guys to think about is PMRF. So I want you guys to type in the comment box for PMRF, especially our CPNs, it inhibits what? So type the answer to that question right here in the comments. What does the PMRF inhibit? And I know you guys know this answer. So while you're doing your occupational posture imaging, I want you to check PMRF function. And the best way that you can check PMRF function is to see if they go into a postural hyperkyphosis. So I'm not seeing any answers on this side. You guys let me know, what does the PMRF inhibit? Because you guys know that it's flexion. So if I'm inhibiting flexion, then I have upright postural design. If I have lack of inhibition of flexion, I go into forward, yeah, there we go, flexion above T6. Very nice, Bruce. Thank you for your answer. So as I go into this flexor dominant position, Dr. Elaine, yes, very nice. Thanks, guys. So as I go into this flexor dominant position, that's lack of inhibition of flexion via the PMRF. So what we want to do is we want to reverse that. So I just told you that one of the best ways is with posture breaks. Now, in addition to that, I want you guys to think about, if you see this on the occupational posture image, I want you to have the patient sit in the back of their chair. So they sit all the way in the back, and what I want them to do for 30 seconds, if they can, if not, just start with 10-second increments and move up, is just sitting in the back of their chair. I want them to really engage all of their extensor musculature. So they're seated in the back of the chair, and they're just going to engage, hold that contraction, hold the contraction, hold the contraction. So as I'm doing this, I'm stimulating the PMRF to inhibit flexion, but also the vestibular system to stimulate upright extension. So that's a really good brain-based applicable component that you guys can utilize to stimulate extension and override the desire, quite honestly, to just go with gravity because we're mindless. If we're not actively engaged, then we go mindless in our workspace and we can't inhibit flexion. Now, the next that I want you guys to do with your patients in your workspace, the next analysis, is going to be for convergence. So if you've taken the CPN course, I know you guys have already done this, but what I want you to do is add a near-far component. Now, the reason I want you to add this near-far component is because we have a problem with convergence because of what? Because we're constantly looking at our computer screen, which is right here. Very rarely do we actually gaze out in the distance. Because we don't gaze out in the distance, we have a problem converging and diverging in a controlled manner. So if you guys are already doing convergence training with your patients, I want you to just type in the side and say convergence, just so I can get an idea if you guys are already doing some training with them. And I want to give you another application right here, right now that you can utilize. So to check this then, what you're going to do is just like we've done in the CPN program, is you're going to check the convergence and you're going to hold here for 10 seconds. Watch for that endurance. Do they have quick fatigability or can they maintain convergence? And then once they're in a converged position, I want you to have them focused on a far away object. So on the wall, they're going to select something to look at, and then they're going to go back to the pen and slowly bring the pen out to diverge, okay? So Anne-Marie's working convergence, Bruce is working convergence. You guys are awesome, love it. So again, so to test this, bring it in, watch for convergence, tell them to look far away, look back at the pen, and then slowly diverge. If you see any nystagmus, any jerkiness, any uncomfort with the eyes, like that withdrawal effect, then we know that we need to work near and far as well as convergence divergence. So in addition to small eye circles, which is what Blessing, hi Blessing, good to see you, Anne-Marie and Bruce, you guys are probably doing the small eye circles. In addition to that, you can do pencil push-ups. So you're going to bring the pen in and hold that convergence, hold, and then bring it out, okay? Bring it in and hold, and bring it out. So do that 5 times, the pencil push-ups. In addition to that, another exercise for near and far is just by holding your pen here, you're going to pick a target far on the wall, okay? Pick a target that you're looking at, like a light switch, for example. And then what you're going to do is look at the light switch, look at the pen and hold, look at the light switch, look at the pen and hold. So you're going to go from a near, far, near, far. That's important because, as I mentioned, we're never looking far away in the distance. And so that creates high fatigability when we try and control convergence and divergence, which we know leads to poor visual dysfunction, which of course is directly correlated to posture quadrant 1 and orientation of our body in space. So those are some exercises that you can do just by utilizing a pen or even your finger. You guys can implement those right away with your patients. Okay. And then the last thing, of course, is mise en Cephalon. So when you guys do a questionnaire, I'm going to tell you about that in a second. When you provide your patients with a postural ergonomic questionnaire, I always want you to ask them how many hours they spend in front of their computer. And of course, ask them too as a follow-up question, are you having problems sleeping at night? Because we know that with this blue light emission from devices, and we spend way too much time in front of our devices, that it's creating a stimulatory effect, which is inhibiting the production of melatonin. So what we can do as a solution is to utilize blue blocker glasses in the afternoon at minimum, or at least tell our patients to reduce the amount of time that they spend in front of their device in the evenings. So if they're working in front of a computer all day long, what I want you guys to do again is during the evenings or during the afternoons of work, have them start wearing these glasses so that we can reduce the amount of blue light coming in, okay? Again, a really simple solution to a massive problem within our society. So that's a brain-based approach. All right, so let me go ahead and open up again this PowerPoint. You multiple different corrections, both from functional, from postural, and brain-based, that you can implement thinking of the person first before even talking about the environment in which they live. Now, I wanted to discuss with you guys specifically implementation strategies because you guys already have a much higher level of knowledge than other people coming in, which is why I needed to do this alumni-only webinar, because you guys are at a different place than other people. So our CPEs, our CPNs, you guys understand the posture system at a whole different level than other practitioners. So how can you guys implement this with what you're already doing to bring you to the next level of success? So the first implementation strategy I want to talk with you about is implementing with your current patients to get better results. So the one thing that's been missing from our program so far, and you guys have been asking me about it, is what do I do with my patient the second they leave my office? I give them great recommendations, but I don't feel like they're following through. Now, what can you do to take it to the next level where the patient actually gets better results? You can focus on postural ergonomics and provide them with very specific recommendations of how they can be successful at implementing this within their workplace. And when you do, you're going to get better results with your current patients. So even if that was the only way that you implemented postural ergonomics, it will help you get better results with your patients. And of course, we know that better results leads to happy patients, better compliance, more referrals, and of course, better retention. Now, the second strategy for implementation, so we just talked about implementing it with your current clients. Now, in addition to that, you can set up business and corporate collaborations for, on-site for on-site ergonomic evaluations, and that's going to help you get even more new patients. So with a certification in ergonomics, so becoming a certified ergonomist, there's no reason that you should not charge for on-site collaborations. So that's great because it's already bringing in more income. But in addition to that, where it expands even further beyond that moment in time that you're getting paid to do an on-site ergonomic evaluation, is that in addition to that, you're going to get more new patients. So when they come into your office, you can get them doing programs in office treatments, either from a CPE or a CPN perspective. So doing structural and functional correction, structural and dynamic, or doing brain-based. Either way, you get them in your office, you give them, your CPE or CPN recommendations, and then in addition to that, postural ergonomic recommendations that they can keep utilizing in their office, because let's face it, they spend 1 hour a week maybe in our offices and 40 hours per week in their offices. And then the third implementation strategy is to perform virtual ergonomic assessments to grow your income exponentially. Now, the reason I love this one personally is because it allows you a lot of freedom. We're going to talk about this one a lot more because I want to give you guys a step-by-step solution of how you can grow your income virtually. But when we think about this, all you need to do is I'm going to show you step-by-step in the postural ergonomic course, but you need to just get an image of the patient within their workspace as well as their workspace. And then you can perform a virtual ergonomic assessment to provide them with really good information about functional tips, postural tips, brain-based ergonomic tips, and of course, environmental recommendations. Now, when you do this, you're absolutely going to charge for your expertise. So you can grow your income exponentially because this doesn't take away from your time in practice with your current patients, meaning you can easily add this on top. You could just, dedicate one afternoon to it. You could set aside whatever time works for you to increase your income with virtual ergonomic assessments. Okay, so now that you know the different ways that you can implement postural ergonomics, I want to spend time on the virtual ergonomic assessment strategy and show you step-by-step how to implement and increase your income by $15,000 per month. If you guys want to increase your income by $15,000 per month, I just want you to type the money sign in the comment box and let me know that this is something that sounds good to you guys. All right, so the power of virtual is that you can perform these workspace evaluations from anywhere. You can perform them at your office at your spare time. You can dedicate one afternoon per week to virtual workspace evaluations, or you can take a vacation and perform a few hours of work while you're away and get paid for your time. So it's completely up to you. I just want you to know that you can increase your income from anywhere without seeing more clients and exchanging your time for dollars. You have the freedom to choose what is right for you and what is right for your lifestyle. So let's talk about how you would set this up. So step number one for setting up a virtual ergonomic assessment is going to be internal marketing. So the first internal marketing strategy is I want you guys to perform the posture workshop, Design Your Workspace. Now, a lot of you, if you're a CPE, you already have that done for you, so that's a massive step forward initially. So perform the Design Your Workspace posture workshop within your office, and then what you're going to do at the end is offer them the ability of doing a virtual workspace evaluation. So they can become a patient plus do a virtual workspace evaluation. And also with your current patients, you can get a workspace evaluation from them as well. And then step number two is external marketing. So you want to market your new expertise on Facebook, and you can target your exact target market on Facebook. That's what's so cool about it. So for example, when you do the Design Your Workspace internal posture workshop, you can put that on Facebook Live, and then you can have targeted ad sets specifically to your target market, for corporations, for local businesses within your geographic location, or beyond. That's the cool thing about virtual. You can take this anywhere. You can get virtual occupational posture images from anywhere around the world and make really good recommendations. And you can hit that external marketing strategy right through Facebook. So once you get some hot leads, what I want you guys to do for step number 3 is an email follow-up. So the email follow-up then is going to be, once they commit to doing virtual ergonomic assessment, is you're going to send them an email with this information. You're going to send them the questionnaire, the postural ergonomic questionnaire, which I'm going to give to you. And you also want to give them instructions specifically of how to perform posture images, occupational posture images. So you're going to get occupational images of the patient's workspace, and then you're going to get occupational images of them within their workspace. And you're going to instruct them how to do the WADE technique for posture analysis, also how to have active posture so that we can get a good evaluation of their workspace plus them within their workspace. And all that's going to be sent via email. And then step number 4 is evaluate the workspace, doing the postural ergonomic evaluation. So from that, you're going to look at the functional, the postural, the brain-based, and environmental aspects of their workspace based upon what information they fill out in their questionnaire, plus the information that you can see from the occupational posture images. And then step number 5 is going to make environmental, functional, postural, brain-based, and environmental recommendations. So from a functional perspective, does it look like the worker has clearance within their environment for full ranges of motion? And do they have active sitting? And then from posture, evaluate the posture system of the worker from the occupational posture images. Look for the presence of postural distortion patterns and figure out some exercises to reverse those postural distortion patterns. And then from a brain-based perspective, if they indicate that they spend a lot of time in front of a computer, think about giving them the blue blocker glasses recommendations. If they have trouble focusing at work, instruct them to turn off their notifications, except during breaks, and to eliminate distracting noise pollution. If they're stressed out, explain the 2-minute mindfulness breathing technique to improve parasympathetic function within the workspace. And then from an environmental perspective, check to see that the computer screen is at eye level. Analyze their seat and their desk. On the questionnaire, you ask the worker what items they utilize most often. Are those within an arm's reach away, or do they have to constantly rotate their body, lift up in order to grab them? If they use a phone at work, check to see if they have a headset, earbuds, or hands-free option. So there's going to be a lot of different things to go through with environmental, all of which I'll give you on a checklist. And then step number 6 is to put the recommendations together in a report. And yes, also you're going to get this official report template within the Postural Ergonomics course. So do you see how easy it is to implement this virtual ergonomics work evaluation? So if you were to perform 10 virtual workspace assessments per month, that would be valued at $500 each, because you're absolutely charging for your time. And what I've found is when I've been doing them myself, I can do these within 15 minutes. So we're talking $500 for 15 minutes of your time, and you're utilizing your expertise. So if you perform 10 virtual workspace assessments per month, that would be an extra $5,000 per month in just 2.5 hours of work. 2.5 hours. We all have 2.5 hours, especially for that return. And if you continue to do 10 virtual workspace assessments per month, that's $60,000 per year that you're increasing your income again, and that's just 2.5 hours of work per month. And then if you were to take it to the next level and focus on doing 30 virtual workspace assessments per month, then that, again, valued at $500, that's an extra $15,000 per month in just 7.5 hours of work, meaning that's less than a workday. A typical workday is 8 hours. In less than one workday per month, not even per week, per month, you can make an extra $15,000 per month. And that's a total of $180,000 this year alone. So do you see how you can implement this without even increasing your time per patient, without increasing the amount of patients that you see in your office, without exchanging your time? You can be doing this on vacation. Like I said, when we're on vacation, we could still spend 2.5 hours to make that extra $5,000 that month. So I wanted to provide you with these solutions so that you can have this as an added income stream to your practice. Get ready to grow your practice, you guys, with an ethical growth strategy. You're going to get in with corporations and local businesses as a renowned ergonomic expert in your community. Plus, make a side income with virtual ergonomic assessments. Now, you know how simple and profitable it is to implement postural ergonomics, but you may still have some burning questions that have been left unanswered at this point. So let's address those now, then we'll go into the specifics of the alumni-only special offer. So what I'm going to do is go through some frequently asked questions, and if you guys have more questions as we go, then I'll hit those at the end as well, okay? So save those to the end for me. So the first thing you're thinking is, I don't have enough time. So just like all other programs, our program with postural ergonomics is just like CPE and just like CPN. It's 100% online, and you have access for a lifetime. It's self-paced so that you can indulge in this course whenever makes sense for you and with your schedule. So we're not saying that you need to show up at any specific time. We're saying, hey, here's the material. When your time allows it, you can dive in and get this great implementation strategies. Now, another question we get is, does it work with my technique? Now, the reason I bring this up is because we get this question a lot, and regardless of what technique you do, whether you're a CPE, whether you're a CPN, whether you're a physical therapist, whether you're a chiropractor, a personal trainer, a massage therapist, the answer is yes, you guys, because what we're doing with postural ergonomics is we're not focusing on changing how we take care of our patient in the office. What we're doing is we're shifting our mindset and saying, we're already taking great care of them in our office. You guys are CPEs and CPNs. You guys are taking better care of them than anybody. Now what we're saying is, let's take it one step further and take care of them outside of our office in their office. So postural ergonomics will work with whatever technique you're currently using. Now you're also wondering, what do I need to take the course? So what's good is, just like the CPE course, the CPN course, is all you need, it's going to be a very similar format. All you need is internet connection. So once you enroll in the course, all you need is internet connection to be able to engage in the course and go through the material. And what if you've already done ergonomic courses? So I love this question. And the reason I love it is because I've done a ton of ergonomic training. And I can tell you from my experience that it was absolutely inadequate. It was boring, for one. It was boring and not engaging, but it also was just so furniture focused. So other ergonomic training courses teaches you how to be a mathematician, a physicist, an engineer, meaning that when you finish these courses, you have the information that you need to go build ergonomic equipment. There's a complete lack in the marketplace of ergonomic training that focuses on the person first. And I can't stand for that at the American Posture Institute. We're on a mission to eradicate sitting disease, and there's absolutely no way that these other ergonomic courses provide you with the material that you need to take that active stand. It's just the opposite. It's way too furniture focused. So because I know that you guys are working with patients every day with posture, I want you to consider the value of adding a postural ergonomic certification over and above any training that you've already done. You're also going to ask me if you get exercise handouts and what kind of information that I have already for you to give to your patients. Now, I've taken this very seriously, and the reason I've taken it very seriously is because you guys asked me that question, and so I want to make sure 100% that I deliver on this. So you guys are going to get a ton of exercise handouts. You're going to get a ton of patient education information. In addition to that, you're going to get occupational specific handouts. And then, of course, with postural ergonomics, it's 100% online. It's lifetime access. There's a Facebook group for ongoing training support. And of course, there's going to be stellar content. So we are 100% dedicated to you every time that we create a course. I don't just create information to put it out there. I take into account everything that you guys ask me, everything that you tell me, and I provide that information in a way that makes sense for all of us to learn and implement with what we're already doing, because I recognize the massive amount of information that you guys already have and how you can implement this to take it one step further. So there's literally nothing holding you back from enrolling in the Postural Ergonomics program. If you think you'll never end up using postural ergonomics, I want you guys to all rest assured that every single client is an ergonomics client, and that there's thousands of businesses within your hometown who need your expertise. So let's face it, every single patient, the second they walk out our door, they need information outside the door. And I know at this point that you guys are inspired. That's why you're here. Now, Dr. Mark and I, we want to reward your behavior, your dedication, and your desire to serve your patients at the highest level. I mentioned that you, our alumni, get a special alumni enrollment offer. So let's talk about how this works. So the open enrollment price of postural ergonomics will be discounted by 50% from $2,000 to $995 US. This price will be made available to everybody in a couple of weeks' time. Plus, they will get $7,000 worth of bonus material for absolutely free with the price of enrollment. But here's what I want to do for you, and this is something that we've never done before with our certifications. If you enroll right now on this webinar, you will get postural ergonomics for 65% off. Add an additional 15% off the already discounted open enrollment price that everybody else will be offered. So for just $850, you will get the postural ergonomics certification, access to the private Facebook group, lifetime access to the course, and $7,000 worth of bonuses for absolutely free. Plus, on top of that, we're going to give you a 30-day money-back guarantee. So let's talk bonuses. Let's just say that bonus number 1 alone is worth enrolling in the course. Bonus number 1, you're going to get 2 done-for-you corporate workshops, including the scripts, the PowerPoints, and the preparation guides. You'll get a presentation on sitting disease and one on digital dementia. Now, the presentation is completely done for you and ready to be shown to the businesses. It's valued at $2,000, and this bonus will be so valuable to your practice growth. And what's cool about it is that you can also utilize it for webinars. So then in bonus number 2, we give you our email sequence to send to HR directors to set up on-site ergonomic evaluations and corporate workshops. So if you found it difficult in the past to reach out and follow up with those businesses, guys, look no further because the work is done for you. This bonus is valued at $400. And then bonus number 3 is the most requested item at the American Posture Institute, valued at $2,000, which is our exercise handouts. So you asked, we delivered for free. You will get exercise handouts for each of the components of postural ergonomics. Simply print or email them directly to your client. And then something tells me you guys are really going to like bonus number 4 as well. And the reason I say that is because, again, I'm listening to the requests that we're getting on a daily basis. Bonus number 4 is your Certified Ergonomics branding kit. The kit comes complete with a postural ergonomics poster, ergonomic handouts showing the new services that you provide, as well as a press release to send to your list of clients and local businesses. All that's completely done for you. All you need to do, also, it doesn't show it on this picture, but we're allowing you to put your own logo in there as well, so that you have all of your own information on those things. And then, because I want you to be successful in completing the course material, bonus number 5, valued at $200, was created. This will be a step-by-step planner to download of how to successfully complete the course and implement the material. So we're going to go through each week together, and what I'm going to say is I'm going to provide you with a step-by-step plan each week to have 12-week postural ergonomic success plan. If you follow this, within 12 weeks, you will be doing virtual assessments, you will be in with corporations, and you will be thriving with postural ergonomics. And then bonuses 6 and 7 are heavy on patient education material. So in bonus 6, valued at $400, you will get a done-for-you guide to give to your clients of how to increase NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, and burn more calories at work. Now, who doesn't want that? I know our patients love it. And then bonus number 7, I want you to get ready for it because this one's valued at $1,000. Now this bonus is heavy. Literally, I've spent a lot of time on it. It includes 10 occupational specific handouts to give to your clients with postural ergonomic recommendations. So whether it's desk workers to school teachers to construction workers, we've got you covered. Simply print or email and they are ready to go. So what this is saying is we're taking it one step further and we're recognizing their occupation and giving them very specific handout recommendations. And then bonus number 8, valued at $500, is 1 month of free social media posts that are done for you and ready to be posted. So we know you guys love bonus marketing material. And then bonus number 9, you're going to get a poster put in your rehabilitation room with all of the main postural ergonomic exercises. So these are all in one place, ready to be hung up within your rehab room. And then the last bonus, valued at $1,000, is a 3-video training series of how to define your unique expert position and position yourself as the renowned ergonomic expert within your community. Consider this your fast track to success. Full implementation strategies revealed for expert positioning. And don't forget about the Facebook forum, lifetime access, and 30-day money-back guarantee. But this alumni-only bonus is only available right now. You must enroll before the conclusion of the webinar to save 65%. Now, this price will not be offered again. Now is the time. So act fast to enroll. Then I want you to pat yourself on the back for making a career-changing decision that you absolutely will not regret. You guys cannot unknow the epidemic of sitting disease. You can choose to complacently ignore it and continue on your life as normal with no practice growth, or you can take an active stand against sitting disease as a renowned ergonomic expert while growing your practice and accelerating your income. The choice is clear and the time is now. Imagine what it would do for your career if you finally had the advanced ergonomic education that you've always needed. Imagine what it would feel like to be considered the renowned ergonomic expert in your community. Imagine if corporations and businesses were calling for your help and clients from around the world were getting amazing results from your virtual ergonomic recommendations. Picture your income soaring with minimal changes to your current workflow. And finally, imagine if you were that renowned ergonomic expert that changed the course of sitting disease for the future of your community. I know you would never let your community down because you are a true health hero, a world changer, a renowned expert. As always, your success is our priority. Each and every one of you, I invite you and encourage you to join me in the posture. Now for more questions. So it looks like, okay. Great. You guys are interested in implementing this information. So I know that you're going to have more questions at this point. So I wanted to allow you guys the opportunity of typing them in the sidebar right now, because here's the deal. Postural ergonomics is going out to the rest of the world tomorrow. So meaning that you guys are probably going to get emails, and tomorrow everybody else is going to have access to this. Now I want to be clear that with this pre-order, it's going to be available to access the course on June 19th, but with your pre-order 65% discount, you are going to lock that in so that you can get it at that special alumni price. All right, so any CPEs and CPNs watching the replay can also enroll by midnight of Wednesday, June 7th. So if you're watching the replay, because we know that a ton of you guys signed up and some of you weren't able to watch the entire thing tonight with us live, then you have until midnight to actually take advantage of this discount. Now, I just wanted to let you know again why we've actually done this is because we're so excited about the release of postural ergonomics. And the reason we're excited about it, not because of us, but because of you guys, because you're in your practice is making a huge difference every single day. And what I want to do is provide you, arm you with the information that you need to take your results to the next level. And the best way of doing that is by taking care of the patient outside of your office and focusing on their office and their practice. So you can take care of your patients at the next level in addition to staying focused with what you're already doing. So if you're a CPE, I want to recognize that you're doing great with structural correction, with dynamic correction. Now you can help your patients continue those reverse posture exercises within their workspace, and you're going to get all of the information that you need to simply hand it over to them. Now, if you're a brain-based practitioner, so if you're doing the CPN program and you like that brain-based approach, you guys are going to love the information on neuroergonomics in addition to the posture exercises that are going to be done for you and ready to be given to the patient. Okay, so there's a question about option for payments. So once we open this up to everybody, there is going to be multiple payment options, but I do want to let you know that that's going to be for the normal price. If you want to take advantage of the specific 65% off for CPEs and CPNs, that's going to be a one payment option of $850. So again, the normal price is $2,000. Tomorrow, we're going to start releasing this information, and people are going to have the opportunity to enroll at $995. But we wanted to give you guys the head start, the exclusive access bonus, and that's going to be for just $895. Now, if you wanted to do 3 payments, it would be 3 payments of $311 as well. So that's another option for you to make that applicable to your needs. So 3 payments of $311. Okay, if you guys have any other questions, be sure to type them in the box over here. Again, I just want to reiterate that your success is our priority. Now, every time we've released certifications, we've never done this before. And Dr. Mark and I were thinking, how can we really reward our alumni? How can we really reward you guys for taking even more action? You guys sign up and you do this information. I mean, you do the certifications. You show up on webinars. You join us on Facebook Live. And over and above everything, you want even more education. We want you to have that access, and you guys can get that right now by clicking the link that's been provided to you right here in the comment box. So that special offer is just for alumni. It is only for you guys, and I can promise you that everybody else is going to pay a higher price. We wanted to give you guys this exclusive opportunity to take advantage of postural ergonomics and jump in once we open up the course June 19th. Once it's open, you guys have that pre-order benefit and you can jump in and you've had great savings. So I want to encourage you to take advantage now so that you can feel rest assured that you're ready to go. You don't have to worry about, implementing it later. Once you get the information, you're good to go. Now, again, with postural ergonomics, I just want to mention that all clients, all patients are ergonomic patients. So the moment that any patient leaves your office, they now just became an ergonomic patient, meaning that what they do in our office, we have the ability of connecting directly with them, and we can show them exercises and we can help them be better and we can help them improve when they're in our office. But the second they leave, now it's up to them. And what I want to do is I want to provide you with the materials and the certainty that you need to be able to give them this information and help them succeed within their workspace. Because the more in tune that they are, the more mindful that they are of postural ergonomics in their workspace, the more improvement that we see in our workspace. Okay, a question here saying, you mentioned on Facebook something about equipment checklist to download. So the equipment checklist to download, I'm not sure where that was mentioned in Facebook, but that is going to be coming out next week. So we're releasing this information tomorrow, like I said, to everybody else. And some of the things that you're going to get is you're going to get a free video training series. You're going to get a postural ergonomic guide to download. Plus, you're going to get a review, or actually the equipment checklist. You know what I think it is? I think that was posted in the Facebook groups. So you can get that still, absolutely. In addition to that, I'm going to do a video of all the different stand-capable desks so that you can look at the different options and see what's the best strategy for you. So we're going to go through all that information together over the next couple of weeks, and I know you guys are going to love it. But if you do want to take advantage of the open enrollment discount, pre-discount, which we haven't even started open enrollment until tomorrow, but if you guys want to take advantage of the special alumni discount, please make sure to jump on that tonight. And of course, the information is posted. Dr. Mark just posted the link. It is there and waiting for you guys. So I want to know who's interested in ergonomics, because here's the thing is you guys are going to be astounded when I tell you this. We, in addition to going through ergonomic certifications and research and really diving into the material, I also interviewed 100 HR directors, so human resource directors, and I just got them on the phone across multiple different industries. I mean, we're talking everything from gold mines to corporations in LA for fashion design, to millennial workspaces where they run leagues of people. It's just so interesting, all these different workspaces. Anyway, I got on the phone with 100 HR directors, and here's what they told me, is they all told me that they understand the importance of ergonomics and they want help. But what they said is they don't know who to turn to for help. And so that was so interesting. When they said this, the first time I was kind of frustrated by it, because I was thinking, why aren't they turning to us? And then the more and more I heard it, the more and more I realized that we need to position ourselves as ergonomic experts. So we're already positioning ourselves as posture experts, which is perfect. It's profound, and it's desired. Look better, move better, feel better is what's driving patients into your office as is. But in addition to that, if we can take advantage of this extra marketing opportunity, a blue ocean strategy of understanding that all HR directors that I interviewed, 100% of 100 all said that they want more ergonomic information and they want to be able to take care of their clients, of their employees at the best level, but they didn't know how to turn to. And then I asked them, okay, so if I'm a personal trainer and I called, would you allow me to do an on-site ergonomic evaluation? They said no. I said, well, what if I'm a chiropractor? What if I'm a physical therapist? And they kept saying no. And then I said, okay, well, what if I'm a certified ergonomist? Would you have me come in and do an ergonomic assessment? And across the board, they all said yes. So that is a massive marketing opportunity for us. That is a way for us to get in with local corporations, with local businesses, to expand our reach from an ethical perspective of eradicating sitting disease, because sitting disease is taking a massive toll on our community. But in addition to that, growing our practice and expanding awareness to get more new patients into our office, and of course get paid for our expertise for these on-site ergonomic evaluations. Bruce, we're very happy to have you in the postural ergonomics course. You rock, as Dr. Mark just said as well. Anybody else who's interested in taking advantage, we're going to be wrapping up very soon on the webinar. So I want to stay on for a couple of more minutes to give you guys the opportunity of asking questions and to give you the opportunity of signing up if you do want to take advantage of it, because again, this is just for you. It's just for alumni. Colleen, good to have you in postural ergonomics. We're so happy that you're going to be joining us for another course. Now, if you guys have any questions too as you go, I just wanted to let you know as well that we're going to have another Facebook group. So with the Facebook groups, you're probably already a part of the CPE Facebook group and or the CPN Facebook group. we're also going to start a Certified Ergonomics Facebook group. Now, what I want to do with that Facebook group is, of course, we're going to keep it clinical because you guys know we love clinical information. So we're going to keep it clinical. But in addition, in that Facebook group, I also want to focus a lot on expert positioning. I also want to focus on good strategies for helping you guys be successful with virtual ergonomic assessments. I also want to focus on positioning you as a renowned ergonomic expert within your community. So what's cool is that you guys are going to have multiple different aspects. If you're already doing CPE, you know how to position yourself as an expert and you understand structural and dynamic correction. If you're doing CPN, you understand from a brain-based perspective how you can improve neuroplastic changes in the posture system. Now with postural ergonomics, we're taking it to the next level and saying, okay, we have this great information over here. We're excellent in our office. Now we're focusing on our client in their office. So we're going to arm them with the information that they need to be successful in achieving postural ergonomics. And we're going to arm you with the information that you need to market yourself as a renowned expert. So whether you want to focus virtually or whether you want to get in there on your own and work with those corporations and businesses on site, you're going to have the solutions to both. Dr. Barry, thank you again for enrolling. Dr. Barry's been with us for a couple of certifications now. I always give him a shout out. If you guys saw in the CPN group how he actually took the posters, postural dysfunction posters, for example, and he made them into a background that he utilizes as final screenings. And it was so cool to see. So major shout out for taking that information and taking it to the next level. I'm really excited to see what you're also going to do with the postural ergonomics information as well. So thanks for, it says, hey, Mark, this is going to put us on a totally new level out here. Yeah, Dr. Barry, absolutely. So next level. That's what we're always thinking about at the American Posture Institute is, again, we want to stay cutting edge. And here's the deal, is that there's health epidemics that are happening. There's tech neck, there's digital dementia, and there's sitting disease. I want to position you guys in front of all three of these. Here's why I want to position you in front of these three epidemics. Tech neck. It's postures declining at the speed of technology, and we can reverse that with reverse postural exercises. Tech neck is absolutely in the media. People know about it, and moms want their kids to get checked. So we have tech neck. And then we have digital dementia. The information on digital dementia is astounding. Our brains are changing in response to poor posture and being in front of our devices for hours and hours on end. We can actually change brain function with digital dementia, with preventing digital dementia through postural neurology. And then in addition to that, sitting disease. You guys, we are talking that women who sit more than 6 hours per day, which on average Americans sit for 7.7 hours per day, are 94% more likely to suffer from early mortality. 94%, meaning that if you sit during the day, you don't even have a chance of living your full lifespan that you were designed to have. I mean, 94%. And then men, 48%. So men who sit more than 6 hours per day are 48% more likely to die early. Now let's talk about this. Now I'm getting very excited about this because I want to position you guys in front of these things because this is all research. I'm not making this stuff up. I would never provide statistics that didn't already, these are researched facts. And now we have them and we're saying, let's arm you guys with this information that you need to get in those corporations. So women seated more than 6 hours per day, 94% more likely to die early. Men, 48% more likely to die early. Now that's just from sitting. Think about if they also have postural distortion patterns. We know that a postural hyperkyphosis increases your chance of having early mortality by 1.14-fold. 1.14-fold, meaning that if you're seated more than 6 hours per day and you have poor posture, that is literally the equivalent of having a smoking problem and a drinking problem. Sitting's the new smoking, okay? Postural distortion patterns are an absolute pandemic, meaning if sitting's the new smoking, now you have a smoking problem plus a drinking problem when you combine into a trifecta of more stress, poor posture, and being seated for hours per day. And we're going to position you guys to take care of your community. Join us on this mission of eradicating sitting disease and standing up for what's right. Okay, questions. So let's see. Alan says the order page advertises full pay bonuses. Are these available? Okay, so full pay bonuses are only available for full pay. So I do want to be very clear and very honest on that. But the good news is that you guys get those extra 3 bonuses for paying the more discounted rate of $850 versus the $995, which everybody else is going to be paying. Okay, and then Tom had the same question. So Tom, let me know, Tom and Alan, let me know if you guys had any further questions on that. Okay, re-explain the bonuses. Dr. Mark says, re-explain the bonuses. So let's go back through these bonuses of everything that you guys are going to get. So we have a ton. So the first one that I want you guys to be very aware of is that you guys have asked me, can you please put together information on digital dementia that I can go into a corporation and have? So I've heard this request, I've heard you loud and clear, and so I put it together. But I didn't stop there. You also get a full PowerPoint and a full script, which is going to be for sitting disease as well as digital dementia. And these are the regular bonuses. So this is a regular bonus that you get. It's not even a full pay bonus. These are 2 corporate workshops that are completely done for you on digital dementia and sitting disease. You know, I was just going off on the information about positioning you guys ahead of these epidemics, and we are going to do that with these corporate workshops that are done for you. So digital dementia, sitting disease, you get scripts, you get PowerPoints, you get everything you need. And then in addition to that, because I've talked to so many HR directors, that's the cool thing is I've done the interviews on your behalf, is I know how to talk to them now, and I know how to get you in the door. So what I've done is I've created an email follow-up series that you can just implement. I mean, you don't even have to do anything to set up these on-site ergonomic evaluations. All you need to do is give them to your assistant. There's set emails. All you're going to do is add some specific details about that corporation to make it specific for them. But the email copy is already written. All you got to do is put it in there. And then you have the follow-up sequence to follow up with these HR directors to get you in the door. And then plus you have the scripts and the PowerPoints already done for you. So that's going to be the second bonus. A bunch of handouts. So I have a ton of ergonomic handouts for you guys, both from a postural, from an education perspective, as well as from an exercise perspective. So we have a ton of information, a ton of different exercises, which is so cool that they can just do right there in their workspace. What do they get with the payment plans? Okay, so what you're going to get with the let me just go through this and then I'll get to a question that's popping up here. So with the handouts, you're going to get all the postural ergonomic exercises that they can implement within their workspace. Okay, so those 3 bonuses that I just mentioned are the regular bonuses. Now with the full pay, so if I pay 3 payments of $311, do I get the bonuses? The full pay, which is going to be just the full pay option, you're going to get some extra bonuses, which are, it's going to be a poster to hang in your rehabilitation room with all of the exercises there for you. And then you're going to get the 3 video training series on expert positioning. And then in addition to that, the other full pay bonus is going to be social media. So we have done 31 days of social media so that you have all of that done for you. All you need to do is hit post. So social media that you can add your own logo to, plus the poster that goes in the rehabilitation room, plus in addition to that, the 3 video training series of how to position yourself as a renowned ergonomic expert. Those are going to be the full pay bonuses. Now I want to focus back over here on the 7 bonuses that you get whether you pay full pay or payment plan, because everybody's going to get these. So I mentioned the 2 done for you corporate ergonomic workshops, the email series that you're going to get from the directors, you're going to get the handouts, plus the branding kit. So this was a lot of fun. So I put my my graphic designer on this one. I said, what can we do to give our experts the best branding kit possible? So we have a great brochure for you guys. We have a press release that's already done, so you can send it out to your clients, letting them know that you have this new expertise and these new services that you offer. Plus, you can send it out to local businesses. In addition to that, so you have a press release, you have a brochure, and you have a new poster to hang in your office as well from a branding perspective. Plus, you're going to get a planner. So what I've found from CPE and CPN is that you guys, some of you, need a little bit extra help with how to get through the information at a fast pace and how to implement. So I went through and we went through how precisely you can get through this information in 8 weeks, and then how to start positioning yourself so that when that 12-week period is over, you will already be doing virtual ergonomic assessments. You will already be in with corporations. And the cool part is on the month 3 stuff, you're going to have your assistant do all the work. So that's going to be great. You just need to get the information, and then we're going to set your assistant up for for success with this planner. Plus, we're going to give you all the information that you need to get into the businesses. And then we're going to give you a handout for patient education material on ways to increase non-exercise activity thermogenesis, or NEAT. Now, the reason I put this in as a bonus is because it's so valuably important. We're going to talk about obesity and sitting disease a lot in Module 1 of the Postural Ergonomic course. I want you to have this information that you can just print off and give directly to the patient or email it to them. And then the next thing with patient education is going to be those occupational handouts. So for school teachers, for hairdressers, for seated desk workers, you name it, we have specific occupational handouts just for them. So we're giving them information they can implement with their job specifically. And then, of course, the extra bonuses are social media, the poster, and the training videos for expert positioning. All right, so Colleen says, will the program be right where all the other courses are available? I just went over that and it's not there. Yes, so Colleen, just to be very clear, and I think Dr. Mark just typed this in as well, that it's going to be open on the 19th, but we wanted to give you this early alumni discount because we're going to be putting out the information to everybody else tomorrow, but we wanted to give our alumni that sneak peek, the exclusive offer, and it will be available on the 19th. That's when it's going to be available for you to dive into the information. Okay. I'm going back through the, yeah, baby, Tom says. That's a lot. Okay. When are you having a seminar in Puerto Rico? Well, that's a good question. One of these days. But at this moment, we're just focused on giving you guys the best information possible virtually so that you guys can all have that information necessary to position yourself as the expert. Okay. I hope I haven't skipped over any questions. Okay. Cool. Guys, we're going to be wrapping up in just a couple of minutes. So if there's any final questions, please type them right now because I really, really, really want you to have this information. I'm listening to the feedback that I'm getting. I'm listening to the feedback that I'm getting from you, and I'm listening from the feedback that I'm getting from communities, and I'm putting that together in a way that just put the most important information for positioning you as a renowned ergonomic expert. All right, it looks like I'm getting one more question to list the bonuses again, so let's go through them one more time. All right, so these are the bonuses for everybody. You're going to get the workshops that are done for you on digital dementia and sitting disease. You're going to get the emails to send to the HR directors to set up on-site evaluations. You're going to get exercise handouts. You're going to get a branding kit. You're going to get a planner, a 12-week planner for full implementation. You're going to get patient education material for non-exercise activity thermogenesis. You're going to get handouts. So you're going to get 10 occupational handouts. So those are all the normal bonuses. And then the extra full pay bonuses are going to be a month's worth of social media completely done for you. Plus you're going to get a poster to put in your rehabilitation room with all the exercises there together. And then in addition to that, you're going to get a training video series of specifically how to position yourself as a renowned ergonomic expert within your community. Okay, do you have a list of where to buy equipment wholesale? So, yep, that's a great question. As we're going to have the links of where to buy all the equipment that we are recommending. So here's what's cool about this certification that's new that we haven't done before, is I actually went on site to all of the wholesalers. So I went on site and I had the ability of actually connecting directly with the owners and the founders of all this ergonomic equipment. And I had them tell you more information about their products. And I had the ability of going around and testing every single piece of equipment. Now, the reason I did that is because I wanted the ability of trying all this equipment before ever recommending anything to you that then you're going to recommend to your clients. So I've tried it, I've tested. We're going to have those links available for you to make it very simple to order it on behalf of yourselves or on behalf of your patients so that they can all get this ergonomic equipment that they desperately need in order to have better postural design and to offset the ill health effects associated with sitting disease. Does that answer your question? Okay. Any other final questions? Because we're going to wrap it up here for a second in just a minute. Again, if you're watching the replay, you have until midnight. And I just wanted to let you know, I mean, honestly, this information is going out tomorrow. You can still enroll later. Yeah, that's actually a good point, is that you can still enroll at any time throughout the month of June. But I just wanted to let you know the alumni discount is going to expire on June 7th at midnight. So we're already discounting it. So whenever we do an open enrollment, we drop the price by 50% so that we can focus on our new students, and then the price goes up after that 4-day period. But we thought this time we wanted to do something extra special for our alumni, because we just know you guys are the best professionals in the world. I mean, it is amazing the amount of engagement that we have from you guys. And when I'm out speaking across the world, I get to meet you guys in person, and it is so rewarding. What you guys are doing in practice is absolutely brilliant. So we wanted the opportunity of rewarding that great behavior, of giving you the first exclusive alumni only discount. So that's going to be expiring June 7th at midnight. Now, again, you can't access the course until June 19th, but don't worry, we have a ton of information coming out this month that you're going to love, all the free stuff as well. So that's going to fulfill your need right away for getting a bunch of great postural ergonomic information. In addition to that, I do encourage you to join us in the new Facebook group, Postural Ergonomics. So that's where we're going to keep our conversations going of everything postural ergonomics. So again, the 4 components of postural ergonomics are functional, postural, brain-based, as well as environmental. Now, that big switch in mindset that I really want you guys to think about is the importance of not just focusing on environmental ergonomics. That's where the outdated information on ergonomics is held. It's right here on environmental. What we're saying is environmental is important. Let's still focus on it. But what we want to do first is change the functional design of the person, enhance their ability to have upright postural design within their workspace, and improve their neurocognitive output with brain-based ergonomics. So we focus on functional, postural, brain-based first, and then we provide them with recommendations for good ergonomic equipment to support better functional design within the workspace. Nobody else is putting that information out. We want you to have it. And the reason we want you to have it is because there are epidemics that are occurring in our society right here and right now. We have tech neck, digital dementia, and sitting disease. Together, we can take an active stand against sitting disease and make a huge impact in our communities. And we all stand together, each person within their community stands up to make a difference. And then what we realize is that the information that everybody's putting out comes together to actually change our society. Now, that is a movement worth being a part of, because sitting disease is killing people. It is robbing people of their dignity, of their health. And we can help reverse that with postural ergonomics. So I really hope that you join us in this certification. It's more than just information. It's about changing the world. And it's about positioning you as a renowned expert so that you can get better results, so that you can get in with corporations, and so that you can exponentially grow your income with virtual ergonomic assessments. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you there. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for being a part of our community as a certified posture expert and a certified postural neurologist. We love you guys. You guys are doing such great things. Keep up that wonderful work. If you want to take it to the next level, we do encourage you to enroll now and take advantage of the early discount for our alumni, which is 65% off. Now, again, this information goes out to the rest of the world tomorrow. You heard it here first, that we really want to take care of our alumni and provide you with this extra opportunity. All right, guys, remember, it's ergonomic design to prevent postural decline.